What's going on YouTube? Joe Miner 31 back again with JS Miner 87. DFS Quarry channel here on YouTube, breaking down the 6-game main slate for Friday, November 9th, 2018. Jared, how you doing tonight?
Well, doing well, doing great. Big action tonight, huh? 9 games. We said there'd be a lot of plays, and there's certainly not a shortage of plays tonight.
Oh yeah, some surprises, some pretty much what we thought, and obviously the LA game we're still waiting on. So we'll see. As far as that goes, we can probably, I would say, just jump right into the slate here, get it kicked off and going. First game up on the slate, we have the New Jersey Devils heading into Toronto to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs are a minus 165 home favorite. We have an over-under of 6 in this game. Should be Kincaid, I would assume, and Anderson.
That is what I have. I believe we have a confirmation on Kincaid. I think we're still waiting for confirmation on Anderson.
I think he's the better goalie there, Kincaid. I don't. I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody else says, man. My personal opinion, I think Kincaid is a better goalie than Schneider, and I think he's proven it on the ice too. So, go ahead, man. You can go ahead and jump into this one.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the only looks I'll have for any New Jersey goaltender anymore will be that of Kincaid if I do go there. I played Schneider the other night. Looked, his score wasn't moving, and that's because, well, he was benched in the second period. So, yeah, I'm done there. I like all Toronto in this game here, and really it's going back to that first line. The Hyman Tavares Marner combination. I wouldn't mind even leaving out Tavares and just doing Marner Hyman, and then instead of Tavares, getting a little piece of that Morgan Riley. Morgan Riley's price tag, I think, has jumped down a little bit. I think it was more than it's 6,100 for tomorrow. I think he was at 63, 64. So a couple little pennies there to save, but I think he's going to be the better play tomorrow. Reason you look at when you drill down to this New Jersey team, 6 games on the road this year. They are a 1-5 on the road, a complete abysmal or complete dismal team here. Look at this. They got 2.7 goals for on the road on average. And when you actually drill down to the last 3 games, which is an interesting thing, I looked at Hockey Line production here, and you drill down just for the past 3 games, there has been no goals scored 5-on-5 for New Jersey. They have all been special team goals, at least according, this is per left wing lock when you filter it down to just 3-game forward combos. I don't look at defense, so in this, when you pull it out. So they could have had a defenseman score 5-on-5, but I'm just specifically talking wingers and center. No goals scored in 5-on-5. You look, where does that put you? It puts you looking at what can Toronto do. They're 12th in penalty kills, but they only take 2.78 on home ice. So they're pretty, and that's actually a pretty good rating for the league, the 2.78 penalties a game, when you look at the whole league. So, and like I said, I also I'm going to have interest in Anderson as well in this one. But like I said, if I looked at Devils, I might maybe look at that power play and think that Hall, Palmieri can be in play. If anything, I maybe would one off Palmieri. I kind of like playing Palmieri a little bit more than I do playing Hall. And then also I tend to see that you're going to get a point or two out of Vatanen as well. And I think Vatanen comes in at, what do we have Vatanen at? 5,200. I wouldn't mind throwing Vatanen in if you did want one piece of the New Jersey team here. And yeah, when you look at Kincaid, he is the better goalie, but past 5 games he's 1-2 with a 3.73 GAA. So that's not going to get it done against the Toronto team at home. If you didn't want to pay for that front line, which I think is going to be the best play, I like Kadri. I mean, Kadri, I think, is actually bumped up. I think he was running their third line. Now they have him as second line center. I like Kadri at 5,300 if you didn't want to pay for that first line. And I don't know if I have interest in Marleau tomorrow. I would probably leave him out on your lineups. So that's where I stand on this one. And I think Anderson for the win is highly likely.
I'm pretty much with you, man. New Jersey's not very good on the road. However, Toronto's not the greatest at home either. But with that being said, I still think I'm on the Toronto side here. I don't want Kincaid. Still think he's the better goalie in New Jersey, but I don't want him. Taylor Hall and Cal Palmieri, I mean, that's where your goals are going to come from, but I just think they're too expensive on DK. Palmieri maybe on FanDuel, but not really. I mean, if you needed a one-off, I think I'd take Heishier off of that. The top line is a one-off at 5,400 and just let the other 2 guys go. I just think they're too expensive right now. I mean, their second line seems to be playing better than their first line with Marcus Johansson, Zajac, and Miles Wood. So take a look there. It's a 6-game slate. I doubt they'll draw any ownership at all. So, I mean, if you wanted to in a GPP, you could take a shot there. Defensively for New Jersey, Vatanen, 5,200. Andy Green, 4K. That's okay. That's where my attention's drawn. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Andy Green and Sammy Vatanen. And that's it. Yeah, pretty much for me. So just those 2 defensemen, Andy Green, Vatanen. Possibly look at that second line in the GPP and Nico Hischier. That's it. I don't want the 2 wingers off that top line. And Toronto, I'm with you. It's going to be the top line. I think they're going to draw some ownership here. Toronto will, but I also think Washington's going to draw some ownership against Columbus. So it might spread out some here. And I get some interest in other games also, not just those 2. But I think the ownership's going to be towards Toronto and Washington here on this slate. Like you said, that top line, Hyman, Tavares, Marner, they're starting to click. Although Hyman is not a very active fantasy player, he's kind of like that gritty, in the corner, up against the glass, doesn't matter, digging, fighting for those pucks. You know what I mean? He's more of that player. So, as far as being a massive goal scorer, I don't ever expect him to be a massive goal scorer, but I still think he's in play for assists. So I wouldn't go in expecting a goal from Hyman. I'd just be happy if I got one. So I still like him paired up with those top 2 guys. And it's for me off the second line. I really don't ever play Marleau. Maybe that's a mistake. I'm not too certain, but I just don't ever end up there. I like Kadri and Kapanen better. More Kadri than Kapanen, but I still like Kapanen. So honestly, the second line's in play too. I mean, this second line here for Toronto, honestly, I mean, if they're paired up 1-1 and 2-2, as far as with New Jersey, and Toronto will obviously have the right to dictate that. This second line is kind of interesting, actually, because if they're going up against that second line from New Jersey, man, this line could dominate that second line of New Jersey. Not you know what I mean, not just outplay them. They could literally dominate them. I know we think the same thing about the Penn second line too, but don't you think? I mean, I honestly have to think that the ownership is going to go to this top line, primarily Tavares and Marner. So if that's the case in a GPP, I think I am taking a look here at this second line, the full stack too. Full stack of that second line. I got some interest there. The other two lines, I'm not. 6 games, I'm not going to go down there. Morgan Riley's price is coming down. 6,100. I'm okay with that. I play Hainsey a lot, and as you see, it's just not worth it, man. I'm not getting shit from Hainsey, so I'm writing him off. Don't you? Breaking up. It's over. But yeah, Riley, Gardner is interesting. Gardner is actually interesting, quite interesting at 3,600 too. Yeah, and I like Anderson. So Gardner should be on the second. He is. Gardner is on the second power play unit. So yeah, I got an interest in Gardner. Frederick Anderson. It's Toronto for me. That's what it is, Toronto. So you got nothing else here? We can go over to the next game.
Yes, sir. Let's go to the next game here.
Columbus Blue Jackets heading into Washington to take on the Washington Capitals. Fresh off a win in Pittsburgh. No, they were at home, but they beat Pittsburgh. Should be Bobrovsky and Holtby. Maybe Holtby gets the day off, but I don't see why he would. But then again, maybe Bobrovsky does. What do you like here?
When I looked here at this one here, let me just look at this one. Yeah, for me, it's obviously I'm all Washington on this one. There are a few sprinkles here of, long shot kind of Columbus one-off picks that I'll give you coming up, but for me, I'm all Washington. I got a gut feeling that says this one's going to be a blowout, not even in close fashion. Ovechkin always in play here at 7,800. Being that it's not 8,000, I'm even enjoying that more. But believe me, some surprise picks here. I actually really enjoy the second and third line of Washington a little bit more in this play. This third line is some of the top third lines in hockey here with the Burakovsky, Lars Eller, Brent Connolly pair. No, I'm sorry. I'm talking third. It's the fourth line that I'm drawing interest in. Jakub Vrana, Travis Boyd, and Devontae Smith-Pelly. And I'm really kind of central and more on that Smith-Pelly and Jakub Vrana. I guess you call him Jacob Vrana. But I think he pronounces it differently, but I could be wrong. But a 3,700 and a 2,700 for that fourth line that actually Vrana getting 14 minutes of ice time at a fourth line pair, some power play time. That's really a good thing there for me, and that's something that draws my interest here. Smith-Pelly, 2 points in the past 5 games, 5 shots, 4 blocks. I think in a 6-game slate here, he's in play as well, especially at that 2,700 price tag. You're getting a great savings. That being said, my focus from a high dollar perspective is definitely the second line, Backstrom and Oshie. And the reason for that, that Columbus's second line gives up a lot of shots, at least in the past 3 games. I was examining here. Chris Foligno, Jenner, and Anderson has given up 24 shots, 5-on-5. Oh, no. Wait, I'm wrong here. No, that's okay. Yeah, they've actually, it's the second line. I misread that. The second line of Columbus is actually the one that gets a little bit more shot production for them. They're shooting maniacs, actually, according to this. But yeah, I like the way Backstrom and Oshie do pair anyway. Which with 5,500 and 6,200, you're getting a great savings with certainly point potential tomorrow against a Bobrovsky team. We had said he's on a contract year, and it seems like almost every night he's giving up 3 goals minimum here. And you wonder if he falls into the same basket as Panarin there, where he just doesn't want to be in Columbus anymore. That seems to be the trend. Some guys just want to play at a higher market team, but yeah, it's all Capitals here all the way. The one Columbus that I always enjoy is Seth Jones, and I even like Zach Werenski at 4,900. I think I'm more apt to lean towards Zach Werenski tomorrow as a one-off play, and that would be my only play Columbus side. And I draw interest in Holtby.
Yeah, I'm sort of with you too. I like that side better. Washington. Columbus, I mean, you know, you can take a shot on them. The Breadman and Atkinson, I kind of lean that way. I'm not really that interested in Luc Dubois, although he should be. I mean, he's the one scoring the goals, but that they're not really scoring, man. So, they're not really scoring much at all. So, not really. And as far as defensively, I do have interest in Seth Jones. It looks like they split him and Werenski up. They got Jones up on that defensive line 1, and they got Werenski with Harrington down on the 3rd defensive pairing. So I'm not sure why there. And is that no goalie from here? Washington, I think, is going to yeah, I think Washington can stomp a hole in their ass here tomorrow. And I think, you know, the ownership should go towards Ovechkin, obviously. Kuznetsov. Dmitry Jackson is sort of interesting, but I think he'll gain the ownership too just because he's paired up on that top line with Kuznetsov and Ovechkin. Wow, man. Wanted Ovechkin's price to drop some. Damn, that sucks. 7,800 for Ovechkin. It's expensive. He's probably going to end up being the top most expensive player on the slate. I didn't look at that. But that pairing is going to, I still think he's going to draw ownership there. This is interesting. I think it's Backstrom and Oshie for me, but I also like the third line pairing of Lars Eller and Brett Conley. Because I don't think anybody's going to drop down there, and for 8,600, that's not a bad price there. Jakub Vrana. Yeah, I could see that, I guess. I know you were talking about them. It's very, very, very inexpensive. Extremely inexpensive. Defensively, Dmitry Orlov at 3,200, possibly. Niskanen is playing well. He's putting up stats, man. 11 shots and 10 blocks, plus a goal and 2 assists over the past 5 games. No power play points, but at 4,700, he could still pay that off. John Carlson is John Carlson, 6,400. You could play him. And I do have some interest in Holtby also. If it is Holtby. If it's Copley, no. But Holtby, yes. That's all I got there. Next game up.
Yes, sir.
New York Rangers heading into Detroit to take on the Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings are a minus 175 home favorite, and we got an over-under 6. What do you like here?
I know we have said a lot, recently, even it could have even been all year, that these teams have just been a hard play. But you got a Rangers team that have won 4 straight, according to what I've looked at here. I got it right. And you got a Detroit Red Wings team that is 4-1 in their past 5 games. So both teams have, I don't want to say turned the corner completely, but have at least, I think for the Red Wings, they've garnered some great defensive play more so. And I think the same can be said about the Rangers here, that both teams really have become a better defensive team. None are really Rangers last game scored 3 goals in the third period to beat Montreal, as I said in yesterday's video, the 5-3 win over them. But aside from that, it seems like 3 is the cap for both these teams. I do like what the Rangers have done with their lines here, though. This first line for me is where I'm drawing attention to for the Rangers, which is Nemestikov, Zibanejad, and Pavel Buchnevich. Both, I love this pairing. I think that's the way they were even running them in preseason, if I recall. But then Nemestikov had a stroke of bad play that they've even now sent. I don't know if I think they healthy scratched him one game, but he's now back. It could have been Buchnevich. One of those two were actually a healthy scratch earlier in the year. But I like that line there. I draw interest from a special teams perspective on these teams. I really don't. Yeah, I mean, if it's anywhere I'm drawing interest, it would be the Detroit power play, but I'm going to stick with line pairings here. Looking at this here, I'd rather run Zibanejad with Nemestikov. 6,700 is a little bit higher than what I'd like to play, but I think it's actually going to be a good thing here against the Detroit team that's known to give up goals. You could even off-pair this. I know it's a little bit more unconventional, but I wouldn't even mind just taking Zibanejad with a center and then going down and running maybe Chris Kreider and just doing that second line there, center winger, because you never know. It's easy to say that these, first, second line, and run line combos. But, we obviously with shift changes and stuff and different pairings throughout the game and the way the game plays out, these guys could end up on the same line. So don't always roll that out. So, Chris Kreider with point production and a little shot production with Zibanejad, completely reasonable here. Even if you wanted to run Hayes with Nemestikov and the savings there and do it that way, you could. But I look more towards shots. 18 shots in past 5 games with Zibanejad, 11 shots for Kreider in the past 5. At least that, gives you a little bit higher floor to expect. Looking here, Anthony DeAngelo is hot right now, along with Neil Pionk. Both these guys are playing great defensively. I think they're both in play depending what kind of salary you want to play. I think Neil Pionk's Pionk is on a really he's on a few game point streak, if I recall correctly. I was listening to the game going into the hockey game the other night, and they just said that Pionk's goal was just downright nasty, the way he moved around and just schooled Montreal's defense. I didn't get to look at it, but they said it was a highlight reel goal. Detroit-wise, I think you look at Dylan Larkin if you want here. I just don't like where they sit against the Lundqvist thing, but on such a small slate, I don't think you roll them out here. Nyquist, these guys are shooters. So if you want to run Mantha and Larkin first line, completely doable, and you're going to get that shot production at least. Trevor Daley, I like where he sits at 4,000. And my goalie pick in this one is actually going to be Lundqvist. And Lundqvist is actually a highly choice for me, even though, like I said, they are, I think you had mentioned, yeah, they're a 175 underdog. I look for Detroit to actually continue a winning streak and win this one.
Oh, you like Detroit in this one?
I like, pardon me if I said it wrong, but I like the Rangers to win this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I misunderstood you, but yeah, I like the Rangers to win this game. I just don't. I mean, obviously, it's 6-game slate. There's plays from this game. I just don't know how you do it, man. Zibanejad, I guess you gotta play him certainly. But I also do like the Chris Kreider call too. But I like Kevin Hayes too, man. So Kevin Hayes is interesting to me. 21 minutes of ice time. He's shooting, he's scoring, he's assisting, power play points as a block shot in there. So yeah, I'm interested in Kevin Hayes at 4,800. I'm even interested in Kevin Hayes at 4,800 over Zibanejad. So I like that. I think that's my attention is right there. I like that pairing of Kreider and Hayes. So that's where I'll probably go if I end up on the Rangers at all. Defensively, you nailed it with Pionk. Oh man, this guy's playing incredible. Maybe above his head right now a little bit. He's playing. So yeah, 5,400. I think he's still well in play. So I wouldn't mind, those three guys of Pionk, Kreider, and Hayes. And I kind of have interest in Lundqvist here also. You get the double dip with the Pionk Kreider pairing too. They're both on the top power play together, so that's not a bad play. And Lundqvist, I think, is interesting. I think you got to consider him tomorrow for certain. In the Detroit side here, man, I don't play much Detroit at all, even as one-offs. If I do, typically it's cheap defensemen, as like basic throwaway picks, just to put someone in there, sort of. For me, it's I guess you could take a look at Larkin and Manta paired up together. Manta seems to shoot a lot. Doesn't really seem to do anything as far as assists goes. Gustav Nyquist is shooting a ton. Yeah, those three are okay. They look okay. Anathan Athanasiou. It looks like he's coming back from an injury, possibly. 5,400. So maybe I'll have to dig into him a little more here. Bertuzzi at 3,800. You can take a look there. Even that Abdelkader. Actually, that's kind of interesting. That third line has 6 goals between the three of them, right? That's more than any other line that they have. Very efficient. So yeah, maybe if you want to get way different, third line Detroit. Defensively, Trevor Daley, 4K. I think there's better plays. Yeah, I don't think you need to go here defensively with these guys. I think there's better plays. Mike Green, 4,600. Cronwell, 3K. Cholowski, not really doing much over the last 5 for the 4,500 price tag. So yeah, that's it. That's it for me. No Jimmy Howard or Bernier, whoever may start here. It's Lundqvist. It's the the New York Rangers side of this for me. I'm just not quite set on where I would want to go there yet. But I do think it'll be Kreider Hayes for me with Pionk. Next game up, we got San Jose Sharks heading into St. Louis. I believe San Jose Sharks are going to be on a back-to-back here. Minus 110, visiting favorites, 6 over under in this game. What do you got here? I'm on one side of this one too.
Well, I kind of. See, I'm not as sure. I really look at this game. I can see it going both ways. My inkling tells me to take the San Jose, though. So I'm going to play my line that way. Even Vegas kind of has this as a pick'em game at a 110. But the only curveball I really think is the Chad Johnson being in net, which I think that's where your curveball comes in. It's easy to say. You probably think that San Jose scores 5 goals if Jake, my boy Allen, just can't get it right. Even if you read some media coverage in St. Louis, they kind of sound exactly like the Pittsburgh Nation here, where, put a statue up of Matt Murray, and that he can do no wrong. There was a media writer there the other day that said about the same thing for Allen. It's time to stop making excuses for the guy. He's not good. He's not playing good. Why they keep throwing him out there like he's earned that spot? It was a rant for him. So that being said, finally, it looks like we might have some good things going on here for San Jose. I like the way they've reorganized these combinations, putting Joe Thornton on this third line where he belongs. I know we had talked, it was like the very first game that he came back, and I seen he was on that first line. I was like, why do they do that? Like, I get it. He's going to be probably a Hall of Famer guy, but it's over for him. Get him down there on the third line where he does. Keep him on penalty kill, what have you. Keep him just puck possession, the name of the game for him. Now, that being said, that puts that third line in a great spot for me. Joe Thornton, 3.7 shots in the past 5. I like where he sits. And you see the productions even coming. Every third line here, everyone has points there with Barclay Goodrow and Marcus Sorensen. You got a goal and an assist for Goodrow, and you got 1 goal and 3 assists for Sorensen. That's going to give them, that veteran leadership for those guys, I think is going to be a good thing. And I have those as a potential in as the top 2 lines of St. Louis could stumble, kind of squander the front too. I don't think it's going to happen because I actually have interest in Evander Kane here as well. So my interest for San Jose really goes to that third line, and then I like Evander Kane as a one-off too, even a potential utility spot for me. 23 shots in 5 games, but he has no points to show for it. Against the St. Louis team that is historically bad defensively, he's going to be in play for a multi-point game, I believe. Definitely have interest in Brent Burns. It wouldn't be out of the realm for me tomorrow to play Evander Kane in utility and throw in Brent Burns as one-off defensive pairing, because I don't have interest in Jones here. I don't have interest in Johnson here. But that's where I'm at for San Jose side. Being that it is Chad Johnson, I said I can't get a read on him. There is plays as well, and it's that Ryan O'Reilly and Vlad Tarasenko pairing. Don't split them up. Run those 2. Yeah, it's going to cost you a lot. You'll need to look potentially at other games, lower-end lines to get back some funds here. But they're out there. I mean, there are some nights where, I'm getting Update Central out of all these lines. Oh, every goal I get an update for. And on my phone, depth scoring is at its finest. I'm seeing even fourth line here. You look, Oscar Sundqvist, fourth line, 3,000. He's got 2 goals in the past 5 games. Zach Sanford, fourth line, St. Louis, 2 goals, 3 assists. These fourth line guys, they're in play. So if you want to game stack this and throw them there against the Martin Jones that, like we had said, we call them Jekyll and Hyde, we can call them Jones and Hyde because you don't know which one you're going to get. So that could be as well. If I'm off the San Jose front lines there and not spending that much, I might actually do a pairing of Colton Parayko and Alex Pietrangelo from a defensive. Run them both as both D-line or a D utility. These guys are typically involved in goals for St. Louis one way or another. And, yeah, they are really two of some of the best defensemen in the league here. Maybe not defensive skill-wise because they don't stop goals seemingly, but that could just be Jake Allen. But they are involved in scoring, which, you know, from a DFS perspective, you got to enjoy that. And stay away from goalies here.
I was a little more sure of myself before you started talking, but I think I will take a look at that third line there. Also, that's interesting for San Jose. Evander Kane is shooting the puck a lot. You think eventually he's going to grab a goal or two here in a game, so I do like him also from San Jose. Brent Burns, you know, I normally don't pay up. Okay. And Carlson, I mean, the same way with him, dude. I mean, eventually he's going to break through and get that goal. And at 5,700, maybe we're at a buy low cost here for Carlson. So I'm probably going to take a shot on that too. Defensively, in the net, no way. I don't want no part of the goalies in this game at all. And you hit the nail on the head there, certainly with the St. Louis group here. I called them the last time out with Ryan O'Reilly and Vlad Tarasenko, and I played them, and O'Reilly had a hat trick, and I loved every minute of it. And thank you very much, Ryan O'Reilly. But they're expensive, man. They really are. And I don't think you can separate them. I said, you know, the last time out, you got to run them as a pairing, like, because they're both involved with everything the other one does, and it just seems that way. So I really, really do prefer the pairing of them. So you know, I'm going to try to get them in, for certain. Third line, Braden Shen. Maybe not. Yeah, the third line's not really getting the ice time here. Alex Steen. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's the second line. The second line is not really getting the ice time. What it looks like they're doing here is mixing it up pretty good throughout the games, and it looks like Alex Steen and Tyler Bozak possibly could be coming up in running with David Perron on that second line too, because they're more... I got more interest in Alex Steen and Tyler Bozak, certainly, than I do the entire second line, excuse me. I really like that, actually, Steen and Bozak. Zach Sanford here? Well, I don't know where he was. I'll have to look into that, but man, he was straight killing it here off this fourth line. This is crazy. 2 goals, 3 assists, 10 shots, 1 block over the last 5 games, and doing it in 12 minutes ice time. 3,700. That's sort of interesting. So Zach Sanford, maybe? Dig into him a little more. And defensively, I'm with you. Pietrangelo, Parayko. I don't even mind Vince Dunn too much, but at 4,900, I think I'd rather take a shot on Parayko at 4,400. So, and that's it. Although I do like Chad Johnson, I just don't like Chad Johnson tomorrow. And and Chad Johnson is the best goal. He's not the best. We'll say he's the better goalie in St. Louis, period. I have no, not one drop of Jake Allen love whatsoever in my body. I can't stand him. He should not be in the league. Next game up. Colorado Avalanche heading into Winnipeg. to take on the Winnipeg Jets. First time we're going to see them since they're back from the Global Series games against Florida. Florida got back tonight and played well. Winnipeg is a -1. Wow. Wow. I hope I wrote that down right. Got Winnipeg as a -175 home favorite here in a 6 over-under. What do you like here? It seems outrageous.
Yeah, I really think this is going to be your kind of 4-3-5-4 kind of game, to be honest. I just to go off here, I'd just give you a quick update though on tonight's game. As we were talking about the San Jose game, Evander Kane did just score a goal. So we said it was going to happen. I think we were just talking about in the moment. And yeah, you're right about backup goalies. It seems like there's 5-6 teams out there that you wonder why isn't the backup goalie the actual starter? It's a crazy year the NHL has been.
Well, truth be told, though, even with the Smith the other night, I understand he lost against Washington, but I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean? What would the Washington game, the Pittsburgh Washington game the other night ended up like if it was Murray in the net? I think the Pens fared much better in that game with DeSmith in the net. I'm not saying DeSmith is the better goalie. I'm not certain about DeSmith myself. I'm a fan of Tristan Jarry and Wilkes-Barre, so I mean, whatever. That's another conversation for another day. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's perfectly fine and completely irrelevant conversation. Yeah, I agree. I think Pittsburgh wins that game if Malkin doesn't get the misconduct personally.
Probably so. Agreed.
But what an interesting thing here going to this game here. Patrick Laine winging third line. That instantly, when was this updated? Last updated November 7th. That just has to be some sort of practice here. I'm going to have to look back at this site tomorrow, maybe after morning skate or something. There can't be any way that you would run him third line wing, potentially. If it is, boy, does he look interesting going if they keep him on the third line. And he's one that increasingly you're looking at those other guys as the savers. And if you don't play Laine, I think that means Lowry and Tanev could be an option for a salary savings because, I think any line that Laine is going to be on, he's going to equally make the other players on that line better. But here, it's this power play line for me. I like all power play for Winnipeg in this one. There's no discipline at all for Colorado. And it kind of shows is the reason of why they might, when they do lose, it's because they take 5 penalties a game. By far, while they do have a great penalty kill, and this is away stats, on the away ice, they take 5 penalties a game. And they're going up against a Winnipeg team on home ice that has the second best power play in the league. So give me that first power play unit. It's good, and these are great prices. These, I can't say that enough either. This $6,200 for Scheifele. You got $6,400 for Laine. You got $5,900 for Byfuglien. I think that's where you go. That's my 3-stack combo right there for you guys. Scheifele 62, Laine 64, and the great thing, look at this: Laine 21 shots, Byfuglien 23 shots, and 10 blocks there. This is beautiful. That's a great low floor here. Certainly don't rule out Wheeler. Wheeler with 9 assists in 5 games, not out of there. 6,500. He's in play too. And guess what? Kyle Connor is even in play on that first power play unit. Don't dip down to this second power play unit at all. These are low enough prices. You're insane if you don't take them out there, guys. This is the play in a 6-game slate. This is the play. Out Colorado side, they had a bad game the other night. I don't even know what that game ended up score-wise. I just know Sissons had a hat trick on him. Really, if they're going to win games, it's this first line. I think they have the number 1 and number 2 points getters in the league with is it McKinnon and Rant? It's either McKinnon, Rantanen, or McKinnon and Landeskog. I don't know who the second one is, but it's expensive. But run the pairing, run some pairing of those two if you don't want to run that side. I'm actually not leaning as much to run Rantanen and McKinnon just because of that price. I think there's going to be better plays out there. They aren't going to cost as much. But certainly if you want to chance these guys, there's going to be points there, and it's going to be I don't look for them to come out and lose in that fashion. I think it's going to be competitive. I like Tyson Barrie at that 5,000 with 6 assists, 14 shots, 3 blocks. Yeah, I would like him to have maybe a couple more blocks, and I'd be a little more impressed. But I could take a chance on Tyson Barrie at 5,000. And that's where I'm at on this. I don't think you dip down much farther. Landeskog, he's in play as well for you. The other night, who did have the goals the other night? I think Soderberg might have had a goal. Soderberg's an interesting play with 14 shots. He does get power play time, 2 goals. If you want to throw Soderberg as a like a utility where he's that last guy you're kind of looking for, or that last center that you just don't have enough room for. At 16 minutes of ice time at a 3,400, he could fit in well as that last guy that you don't want, that you can't figure out. And goalie-wise, look at this. Yeah, Varlamov's 0-3 in his last 5. Varlamov is bad right now. Or at least his team is while he's playing. Hellebuck, he's 1-3 in his last 5. This is going to be a goal-scoring game. But I'm in for Hellebuck too. I think Colorado loses again on the road.
Well, I think Colorado loses. I just think that spread's crazy.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there.
I like Winnipeg in this one too to win. I like a lot of goals in this game, and I don't think I want any goalies. Varley is not playing as well lately. And Hellebuck 1-3, what you said there, that's not playing too great either. Yeah, so no goalies for me. And obviously, like, I'm going to mention it. If you want to play Colorado, the offense is going to come from the top line. Looks like they're starting to get the second line going a little bit. This Sheldon Dries, I don't know nothing about him, but he does have 2 goals. He's just got 9 minutes. That's crazy. You're not getting no time at all. Like, I just don't think anybody else has enough ice time to trust. It's the top lines, the top 2 lines, and really it's just the top line. As forwards, the top lines play in 23 and 24 minutes individually. You know what I mean? So that's where Colorado is. And defensively, Ian Cole blocking a lot of shots, man. He's got 18 blocks over the last 5. 4,300. That's a little, maybe. Tyson Barrie at 5K. That's a good play. I know you mentioned him. That's fine. Eric Johnson at 3,600. He has 10 shots over the past 5 games, plus 7 blocks. So the blocks were up a little more. At 3,600, though, I think Eric Johnson's in play even. He's getting over 21 minutes of ice time a game at 3,600. Yeah, I'm okay with that, I guess. And that's it. That's it for me with Colorado. Top line, really. A couple defensemen, okay. Winnipeg, I did not know that they moved the lines around. But again, I said it in yesterday's videos. When these guys are in the global series, I like the idea of the global series. I just lose track of the teams, man. They just spend so much time over there that it's hard to, you know what I mean? It's just all the games going on here. That's where my attention gets focused. I end up focusing more on looking over these slates and breaking it down to do the videos than I do to even pay attention to my own lineups to play on DraftKings and FanDuel as far as that goes. Yeah. If I wasn't doing the videos here, I'd be playing way more than I am now. But I don't mind it. With that being said, Winnipeg top line. Ehlers is interesting at 5,200, actually. But Scheifele, Blake Wheeler, certainly. No Perrault for me. Cal Connor, Brian Little. Man, you really think that they're going to run Liney down there with them guys? Like, Liney's in play regardless. 6,400, dude. That is a great price. Josh Morrissey, I like him. Looks like he's kind of slowed down a little bit. Okay, maybe not so much Josh Morrissey. Yeah, Jacob Trouba, he's blocking a lot of shots, man. Averaging about 3 blocks a game. Plus, he's over a shot a game, so you get 2-point floor there at 4,800. You wouldn't need much more than that. Byfuglien, yeah, Dustin Byfuglien, 5,900. That's a good price, actually. Yeah, he's killing it, dude. You got to play him. I think if you play Winnipeg, you got to play Byfuglien. So yeah, I'm with you there. That whole top power play unit is kick ass, man. Oh, that's beautiful. That is absolutely a beautiful power play unit. Yeah, digging it. Top power play unit for me too. Didn't take much arm twist in there. I saved you some energy for the last game that we can break down on the slate. And I don't want the goalies, man. I know you mentioned Hellebuck. Yeah, okay, but with this minus 175 home favorite, it is the largest. Yeah, it's the largest spread on the slate along with Detroit. Where do you think the guys are going to go? They're going to play Hellebuck or Jimmy Howard? I think everybody's going to play Hellebuck, man. So I'm gonna steer away from there. Next game up, Minnesota Wild. We're waiting to see them. They're going to be on a back-to-back. Heading into Anaheim to take on the Anaheim Ducks. Minnesota is a minus 110 favorite. Pretty much pick them 5.5 over under. What do you like here? I don't like this game.
Well, my boy Devin Shore, he must have heard the video as he just scored a goal. I told him, first line just isn't for him. He's not quick enough to keep up with Sagan and Ben. So, hey, Shore it is. But let's go to this game. I'm the opposite of you on this. Well, let me just preface this game by saying who scores first drives what kind of DFS projections you're going to have here. If Anaheim gets that first goal, they will smother Minnesota, and you're going to get a 2-1 type game. Now, that being said, Minnesota gets up to 2-0 lead. I think you got a shootout kind of game here. That being said, and a 6-game slate here, I think it's worth a risk to chance this here. Like you said, I'm on the Minnesota to win this game. I'll start there. I like Stalock here. Let me make sure I know their away stats, though, for Minnesota. 2.9, 3.1. Okay, what about Anaheim at home? Anaheim is 4-2 at home. Minnesota is 3-4 on the road. Okay, mediocre stats. They're about right where I would expect. All right, yeah, so I like Minnesota on this one here, and it's that top line. They get shots on goal. Eric Stahl. Eric Stahl, Boyle, and Greenway, right? Yeah, that's just a recent line pairing here. I think Parise was playing that first line with Stahl for a while, had some production, but it taped off. So they got Parise with Koivu and Granlund now. My plays it with Granlund, and this is power play potential too. So I might be apt to play that Granlund Stahl and Granlund, Stahl, and I like Greenway. I like where Greenway sits here too. So Greenway, Stahl, Granlund is where I would focus my attention for this game. Even though Greenway, they just have him on this first line and no power play time right now, I'm still okay with that, especially at a 3,300 price tag in first line minutes. So I'm okay there. Coyle, I don't have as much interest in that. I'm going down. Nito Niederreiter, 3,600. I don't think he's in play just because if you're going to get a first line for 33, why are you going to spend 36 on a third liner? It's just, I don't think that DraftKings has updated some prices for the position that they've now been adjusted to. Another interesting line is this Eric Fair, Marcus Foligno. They've actually, yeah, they have 2 goals for and 2 goals against in their past 3 games, and they've taken 18 shots as a fourth line unit. So that's interesting here too. That fourth line. I might, at a 6-game slate, I don't think you're going to draw interest, but that line wouldn't be a bad spot to maybe take from in a main slate, big like 9-10 game kind of lineup, especially if you're running that heavy, let's say St. Louis line of trying to run O'Reilly and Tarasenko. That'd be a good play. Looking at it from the Anaheim perspective here, Raquel, I like where he sits, 6,300. I think I'd only reserve that for a GPP play because I don't think a lot of people are going to pay much attention to this game. Getzlaf, I like where he sits. He had the game winner the other night or last night. So 1 goal, 3 assists. Getzlaf is in play as well. Stay away from this Anaheim power play unit. Don't get fooled by what a great power play line. Their power play really isn't clicking that great in the league. Cam Fowler defensively is a great play. Yeah, he is a great play. 24 minutes of ice time at 5,500. He's in play, certainly. Even if you wanted to avoid this game completely, Cam Fowler would be in play as a one-off on this game here. Goalie-wise, I don't like where the 8,400 price tag is on Gibson in this one. I don't think he's getting a shot out, and I don't think he'd be facing a lot of shots. He is in potential for the win here, but like I said when I started this, I think Minnesota wins the game. So Stalock is in play for me here if I wanted to cash and save the money, because 7,200 is a pretty decent price tag on the slate. And if I'm actually looking at salaries, they might actually be, let me pull it up quick so I can tell you here. It might be one of the cheaper goalies on the slate completely. So, yeah, he's near the bottom. Stalock is in play as well for me. Kincaid's 7,000, and Kincaid's the cheapest goalie that's starting, it looks like, on the slate tomorrow. But 7,200, that's a great price for Stalock.
Man, I don't even know what to say. I say that I really don't like this game, man. I think I like Stalock. And I think that's it, man. I think Minnesota wins this game, but my problem with it is that I just don't think. Okay, if we think Minnesota wins this game, right, and we get a 5.5 over under in this game, I'm more on the side of under. Okay, so if I'm taking the under in this game, and I think that Minnesota's going to win, so I'm thinking that Minnesota's going to win in a 2-1 fashion, maybe. maybe a 3-1 fashion, but I don't see that. Anything more than that anyway. So with that being said, do I think that I think with the plays that are on the slate right now, the way it sets, and this is our last game, man. And I think that this game is going to be a 3-1 game. I need all 3 goals to come off that top line or whatever pairing that I'm going to use off of Minnesota, and I don't see it happening. I don't see Greenway, Stahl, and Coyle all that 3 the top line. I don't see them scoring all 3 goals in this game. I think it's going to be spread out, and I think if it spreads out by even 1 goal, that's going to let that line pairing not have enough to get you there in a GPP. I just don't think they're going to have enough. I don't think there's enough potential goals scored here to use Minnesota, so I'm not going to. I'm taking Staylock, and I know that was a long, drawn-out process to explain all that shit. I apologize. I'm an idiot. Don't hold it against me, but nonetheless, I got it out. What I wanted to say anyway. I'm not playing Minnesota. What the hell? Anaheim. I just I can't, dude. I know they won a game here, but I think Anaheim. Whatever. I'm with you. Getzlaff for Kell, I guess, but it's Staylock for me. So nothing really from Anaheim. Cam Fowler, Brandon Montour, okay, but I like the price tag on Staylock, and I think we need some money to be saved so I can go up there and play Ovechkin. Because I don't think Columbus has anything to shut Ovechkin down. So whatever. I like Staylock. Last game on it, that was it. That was the final game on the slate. Run through the game here quick and give our final thoughts and get out of here.
Yeah, I was just for the sake of time, I'll give all 3 of mine there, and then we can go from there. My diamond stack, I'm going with diamond stack. Give me that line 2 Capitals. That would be Chandler Stevenson, Nicholas Backstrom, and TJ Oshie. For my snowflake stack, I'm going that first line Anaheim, which you just said. Raquel, Getzlaff, Eves tomorrow against Staylock. I just don't see that as good play. And potential Boulder Award candidate tomorrow. I think it's going to be where Frederick Anderson sits against that New Jersey team.
Yeah, that's pretty bold play there. Man, I don't have a diamond stack, dude. Let me quick here look. I apologize. I didn't even write one down. I normally try to write them down as I'm going through, but actually I do, and I'm dropping below line 2 for real with this one too. Give me line 3 from St. Louis. That's Alex Steen, Tyler Bozak, and Soshnikov.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention about that while you got it on St. Louis there, actually, I was looking for Marin. He healthy scratched, so he's been playing that bad. They got him as a healthy scratch, that Pat Marin.
Yeah, he's not even listed on the lines. I didn't even notice that until you just brought it up. Well, who'd they bring up then? Oh, did he go down when Sundqvist came back?
I don't know. I just high level searched it because I'm like, "Where's Marin at?" And then I had seen the healthy scratched him.
Wow. Well, whatever. If he's not playing, he's not playing. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Snowflake stack. Oh, what the hell, man? Give me Columbus line 1 for Snowflake stack. And my Boulder Award, you took Anderson. That was going to be my play. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to throw it all out there. I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to lay them on the table like a man, like a real man. And I'm taking Lundqvist.
Bold move.
I was
bolder. We are getting bolder with these bets.
What the hell, man? You know what I mean? It's not like it's costing me anything. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, guys, tomorrow, Jared's just now finding out he's gonna be rocking solo. My wife and I just bought a new house and I have a ton of shit to do. I'm actually taking off of work tomorrow, my actual job to try to get started doing my shit here because my next month is gonna be quite slam busy. So, with that being said, I think, and I think you would agree, Jared, this 6-game slate, there's plays here, guys, all over the place. Don't concern yourself too much with ownership other than Toronto, Washington, but I believe it's the top lines there that's going to draw the ownership there. And I don't think the Winnipeg is going to draw as much ownership. If it does, it's more the top line, and people are going to be really confused about Patrick Laine. So when they're looking at the same thing that we're looking at, and we're seeing these line pairings shifting up, man, I'm not afraid to play Patrick Laine at all. I still think he's obviously in play. Other people seeing him drop down makes people nervous. Like, you know, we question sometimes here why they're doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Sometimes I wish these coaches would just let the shit alone a little bit and let them gel. When you're mixing lines up every other game, dude, I don't know how they expect these guys to get any kind of continuity build up with each other. Hockey's a game of trust, and you got to be able to trust your line mate to be where he's supposed to be on certain plays. So if you can't do that and you don't have enough ice time to be able to gel like that, I think it makes it more difficult. But that's just my personal opinion, and that's probably why I'm not a coach in the NHL. So with that being said, man, I really got some interest in St. Louis. I really got some interest in Toronto, Washington, obviously, and Jared talked me on to the Winnipeg. As far as goalies go, I'm Lundqvist, I'm Stalock, I'm Holtby, I'm Anderson. Those are my 4 directions I'm heading, and that number will be definitely dropped down. I'm not going to play lineups with 4 different goalies in tomorrow. I maybe have 3 different goalies, but I doubt that even. It's probably going to be more like 2 of those 4 goalies I'm looking at. Jared, what do you got for a quick rundown, and then we're out, bud?
I think what you see tonight is going to be what you're going to see tomorrow. I'm just glancing down through these goals things, and it's like every team except for one, minimum 3 goals. Edmonton's the only one really that let us down with a 1-goal game. You're going to see that tomorrow. With the exception, like I said, I don't think the Devils match up well against the Maple Leafs. I'm really going to enjoy that Sharks-Blues game. I think that's going to be an interesting one to watch. Red Wings and Rangers is going to be a fun game, I think, too. There's going to be usually those games where you say they're 2 sucky teams somehow turn out to be a lot of points in those. And you know what? To be honest, like I was saying, we were talking that last game, but it's a very slight chance that I get on that game. So you guys can enjoy getting to bed early. That Wild Ducks game isn't going to be worth staying up late for. So you guys get the benefit of getting those early games in, watching them. And if you're on the East Coast, getting to bed at a decent time.
Yeah, I hear you. And one other thing before I jump out, I just seen Sean Jones, just new subscriber, just subscribed about 5 minutes ago. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. And was talking with another new watcher for us here, Cole. Actually threw out a lineup in the comment section a couple days ago. He made a ballsy move, man. He played that Anaheim line the other night. Didn't quite work out for him, man, but it was a ballsy move. So thumbs up to that, dude. Good luck to you. Stick with it. Best thing about it, man, is there's always tomorrow, dude. You get your ass kicked tonight, we're right back at it tomorrow morning when the sun comes up. Sometimes maybe before that. And Mitch, appreciate you stopping by. We'll be able to get back with you, chat with you real soon here. So that being said, guys, we're out, and good luck to everyone. And back again tomorrow night with Jared. Thanks.